You're dead to us. Don't ever crawl back here again. My dad screamed that at my wedding because I didn't invite his new wife, the woman he cheated on my dying mom with. I'm 29, female. Mom died of cancer when I was 16. 6 months later, literally 6 months, dad moved Susan in. Told me to call her mom. I refused. Susan spent the next 12 years trying to erase my mother's existence from our lives. She threw out mom's photos, saying they made the house depressing, wore her jewelry to family dinners, even tried using her recipes at Thanksgiving, claiming she'd improved them. The worst part? Dad let it happen every single time. When I was 18, I found Susan wearing mom's wedding dress. She was having it altered for her vow renewal with dad. I lost it. Told her she'd never be my mother. Dad sided with Susan, said I was being dramatic and needed to move on. I moved out 2 weeks later, put myself through college working 3 jobs. Dad and Susan came to my graduation, but spent the whole time complaining that I didn't reserve them better seats. Never once said congratulations. Last year, I got engaged to Mark. We'd been together for 4 years. He's incredible, kind, patient, the complete opposite of my father. During our wedding planning, Mark asked one simple question: do you want Susan there? I said absolutely not. This was about celebrating me and mom's memory. I wanted mom's sister, my Aunt Linda, to walk me down the aisle. I wanted mom's favorite flowers, her favorite songs. Dad called me selfish, said if Susan wasn't invited, he wasn't coming either, that I was disrespecting his wife and their 12-year marriage. I told him fine, don't come, your choice. The wedding was September 23rd, perfect weather. Aunt Linda walked me down the aisle crying happy tears. Mark's vows made everyone sob. It was everything I'd dreamed of. Then I saw them during the reception, Dad and Susan, sitting in the back corner. They'd snuck in somehow. I was furious but decided to ignore them. Let them sit there. Whatever. Then Dad stood up during the speeches, grabbed the microphone right after Mark's dad finished talking, started going on about how Susan raised me, how she deserved recognition as the mother of the bride, how I was an ungrateful daughter who couldn't appreciate everything they'd done for me. The room went silent. I just sat there completely frozen. Mark's dad, this quiet, reserved man who I'd never seen raise his voice, stood up, walked over to my dad, said in the calmest tone, "Sir, you need to leave. This isn't your moment to rewrite history. That woman didn't raise anyone. She moved into a dead woman's home and tried to steal her place. Get out." Dad's face turned red. He started yelling about disrespect, about how he paid for my childhood, how I owed him. Mark's dad cut him off. "You paid for your legal obligation as a parent. That doesn't buy you the right to ruin your daughter's wedding." Security was already coming over. That's when Dad screamed it. "You're dead to us. Don't ever crawl back here again." Susan was crying, playing the victim. They stormed out, making a huge scene, knocked over a centerpiece on their way. The DJ quickly started the music again. Mark held me while I cried, but his dad pulled me aside and said, "Your mother would be so proud of the woman you become." 2 weeks later, my phone started blowing up. Missed calls from Dad, voicemails begging me to call back, texts saying it was an emergency. I finally answered. He was crying, real, desperate crying. Susan left him. Turns out she'd been having an affair with his business partner Greg for 8 months. They'd cleaned out Dad and Greg's joint business account together. $340,000 gone. Then they disappeared to Costa Rica. Dad lost the house. His business partnership was destroyed. Greg's wife was suing. Everything was falling apart. He asked if he could stay with me and Mark, just temporarily. Said he had nowhere else to go. That he was sorry. That he'd made terrible mistakes. That he needed his daughter. I sat there listening to him sob. Part of me felt bad. He sounded broken. But then I remembered the wedding dress, the thrown-out photos, 12 years of watching him choose Susan over his own daughter. The way he screamed at me on my wedding day. I texted him back using the exact words he screamed at my reception. "You're dead to us. Don't ever crawl back here again." Then I blocked his number. Mark found me crying that night. Asked if I felt guilty. If I wanted to help him. I said no. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. Mom's sister Aunt Linda called the next day. Said she heard what happened. That Dad had been calling all the relatives looking for help. She told me, "Your mother spent her last months worrying about you. About whether you'd be okay without her. You are. You're more than okay. Sometimes the family you choose matters more than the family you're born into. And sometimes the best revenge is just letting people experience the consequences of their own choices."